In the Hawker wood shop we also have a drum sander. Parts of the drum sander: rise and fall, dust extractor, dust extraction tubes, cover, sanding drums, coarse, fine, drive belts, pressure roller, don't know if you can quite see it down there, the pressure roller that holds the wood down, feed table, feed speed, on and off for the feed belt, on and off for the main drums, lock off switch, on switch, which won't start until the lock off switch has been disengaged by twisting the black knob. And also a lockout for when you're working on the machine so it can't accidentally be turned on. The belts over here which run the machine, obviously dangerous. If you get your finger in there, it's going to be an unhappy event. If you get your fingers down there, it's going to be an unhappy event, big time. So don't lift the lid up. Do not open the guard before disconnecting power. You know, there's a reason they say this stuff. Do not stick your fingers in the middle of bits that spin around. Now, as it turns out, we do open the guard. I don't expect students to do this. But for those belts to be cleaned, it is quite safe to use. Now, this isn't a student job, this is a teacher job or a technical assistant job. It's quite acceptable and safe to use the abrasive restorer in our purpose-built holder so that we can clean the belts, taking any build-up off them, or as much as possible. Now my hands are completely safe there, they're well far enough away from the belt. You can see what's happening as the rubber tends to melt. It's crepe rubber. The rubber tends to melt and it pulls the dirt away or the dust out of the paper. I wonder if I can get that a little bit more. That's about as clean as it's going to get. There is a bit of build-up in there. That mainly happens from sanding timber with glue on it. The glue becomes soft as it goes under the roller and sticks into the paper, and then any wood dust that gets on top of that also sticks into the paper or attaches to the paper. And also sanding paint. So no paint, no glue, no metal. Metal will tear it. Safety equipment again with all machines. Safety equipment is eye protection and hearing protection. Sanding a piece of timber. This is rough sawn timber, bit of rough sawn pine with a knot in it. You can see it's quite coarse along the surface there. To make it a little bit more visual, you can put pencil lines across your piece of timber. Drop the table down, the in-feed table or the feed roller, feed belt. Drop it down until you can fit underneath. That's a little bit too much. Okay, so we've got it clear. Now at that point, we can wind it up until you just start to hear it touch. I missed it. We'll do that again. Better to wind it up slowly rather than to have the belt jam. So, once more, run it through. Little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. Just starting to sand. We'll call that the zero position. So that's at nothing. It is touching it, but it's hardly taking off any timber at all. And you can see up, down, taking a little bit off there, virtually nothing else. So if that's the zero position, and you can see it has sanded a little bit, good way to tell is get the surface in the light, twist it sideways. You can clearly see the saw cuts. You can clearly see the sanding marks, saw cuts. So you can see the areas that have been flattened off and cleaned up. If we readjust, and that's about the distance that you readjust. 5 mil. This is the rise and fall. Lifts it up, drops it down. We want to drop it down about 5 degrees. Any more than that and you're likely to jam the paper. Now you can hear the paper's got a good uniform sound, a nice scratching sound, running through the first and the second paper, cleaning up the surface. Don't know if I've got it all, not quite. So, it's got most of the wood. We can go and you can see how the pencil marks help you identify where has been and where hasn't been sanded. Another 5 degrees. Make it a habit to turn it around each time you push it through. That will keep the wood level. Oh, there's a hollow spot there. You heard it go start, stop, start again. So I'm going to have to take a little bit more off that. Turning it from end to end helps keep the wood level, helps stop the wood from getting little chatter marks on it, and also each time you change it 5 degrees and turn it end to end, move to a new spot in the paper. Some people just work in the middle, work in the middle, work in the middle, and that wears the paper out in the middle. Work your way across to and fro, all over the surface of the paper, wears it out evenly, you get more of a life out of it. And that's pretty well cleaned up that edge. Catch it in the light again. Could use a tiny little bit more there, but I'm not going to bother because it's only a demo run. What I will do though is show you how you can run one piece of wood straight after another, underneath, wind it up. I'll go quicker so it catches it. Slow down there. Should hear it now. Just touching. So that's our 0 position. Rightio, from 0 it will go up 5 degrees. Poke it through. Sometimes you've got to give it a wiggle to get it under the in-feed roller. If you're doing lots of pieces, it's perfectly acceptable to run one straight after the other. That helps push it through. And that gives you time to walk around this end and pick it up before it falls off. Or alternately, you might be working with another person who can do the tailing out, that's catching and stacking, while you're doing the feeding, or vice versa. On very thin pieces of timber, sometimes it will get caught under there. If it gets caught under there, you're going to destroy the piece of wood. So you need to be aware that you might have to put your hand on top of it and help pull it out. And a great machine. Does a beautiful job on your project, provided you use it properly, and it saves you lots of time with sandpaper. Off, nothing else to do.